Ladies and gentlemen, one more game in the 2025-26 NFL season. It all comes down to this. Okay, I'm not going to give you a whole spiel like I did last time, but what is up, guys? It's Mars Sports with Marshall. Maybe I will give you a spiel. I don't know. Today is the day of Super Bowl 60. Holy frick, bro. I remember watching my first Super Bowl. I think it was like either 49 or 50. 50 was the first one I remember watching. I remember watching the 49 a little bit with Katy Perry's performance, but we've got a very, very good Super Bowl in our hands as we have the two best teams in the league facing off against each other with, I will say, two of the best records in the league, too. Well, actually, technically, Patriots have a better record because they had an extra game to play, but that's besides the point. That's because they didn't have the bye like Seattle did. But this Super Bowl definitely feels like something you would see in like the mid-2010s. But this is 2026, and this is what we're seeing. Yeah, but it's been a great season this year. A lot of great games. A lot of shutouts for some reason this year. We had a lot of great games to get here. You had I don't know. You had all 32 teams go at it. You got your week ones like who are the bad teams? The Jets are always bad. The Saints had their issues. You also had like who else was bad? The Raiders. You get it. Like these teams, like the Titans, the Browns, the Vegas Raiders, heck, the freaking Kansas City Chiefs this year. And you have the Giants and the Cardinals and yada yada yada. and then how 14 teams made the playoffs. That's what there were left once the playoffs started, and teams got eliminated one by one. And this is the two teams we have left. As we have a rematch of Super Bowl 49 on our hands. I'm pretty sure it was 49, the one that the one that had that crazy play. The infamous play on the goal line. Which we'll get to that in a bit. There's some narrative surrounding the Seahawks and all that. Yeah, but anyways, here is the Super Bowl tonight. Honestly, the Super Bowl is not just a game; it's a cultural phenomenon. Like, even people that don't watch football watch the Super Bowl. Like, you don't have to watch the journey to be. Well, it's great that it helps that you watch the journey. Obviously, like if you watch the whole season, but you could be a casual sports fan and you can tune into the Super Bowl, just like, and you get hooked in immediately. It's football. Who doesn't like football? But we got great games on our hands. As this will be in the San Francisco 49ers Stadium, Levi's Stadium, ironically for the Seahawks. That's one of their biggest rivals. As the Seahawks will be taking on the Patriots tonight in the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny's also performing at halftime. I mean, I don't really listen to his music, but I'm sure the performance will be fine. I know there's a lot of like that drum beat in the background. Yeah, but we have today at 5:30 Central Time. That's when it starts. It's gonna be a great game, I think. As this Super Bowl is like I said, it's the rematch of 49 where the Patriots intercepted that ball in the goal line. So for the Patriots, what's at stake? They can recap on that from a few years ago, and the Seahawks can avenge that 11 years later and then get revenge on the Super Bowl. So that's one thing that's probably flying through the minds. Yes, I know those rosters are completely different from 11 years ago, but still. Like back then, you have Russell Wilson versus Tom Brady. Now you have Sam Darnold versus Drake May, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. But I will say this. Both these teams weren't expected to make the Super Bowl this year. Like, it was expected to be Chiefs and whoever their sacrifice was. At Chiefs Commanders, I said the Commanders win the Super Bowl. Obviously, both those teams kind of suck this year. Yeah, there's that. But yeah, this is gonna be a great game. I know it's gonna be. Hopefully it's a close game as well. Last year's wasn't that close. It was just Philadelphia doing whatever the heck they want to the Chiefs because they finally ended their dynasty. At least for now. Yeah, anyways, you had the Seahawks. Let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks for a second. Man, I believe the last time they actually made a Super Bowl was 2014 season. That's when Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman were on that team. That was a very loaded team that year. Wasn't that the year that Richard Sherman was like, I'm the best I ever was, and I am a sorry A receiver like Crabtree, blah, blah. That interview, wasn't that the same season that happened? Yeah. But the Seahawks is the first Super Bowl since 2014. They won it back in 2013, I'm pretty sure. 2013 season, and they beat the Broncos. I remember That's Good Sports, a.k.a. Brandon Perna, made a song about the Broncos beating the Seahawks. Unfortunately, it was a parody of Timber by Kesha, but unfortunately, that did not come true. Then, although, man, if they would have, Seahawks and Broncos would have played each other this year in the Super Bowl, Brandon Perna would have had to make a remake of the song, bro. I'm sorry, but man, the Seahawks though, I tell you what, this team, they're usually I don't think the Seahawks are usually a bad team. Even in 2022 when everyone thought they were going to be bad, they still made the playoffs. They actually did better than Russell Wilson on it. This is when they got rid of Russell Wilson and a lot of other players too. But I will say it paid off. Yeah, you had to go through Geno Smith for a few years. Which, it wasn't a bad experience. Geno Smith actually did pretty good there. But Sam Darnold, man, has elevated it. I'll tell you what, Sam Darnold, if he wins this, that will be the greatest one of the greatest career turnarounds I've ever seen. That dude was literally failed at the Jets. It's the Jets, though, let's be completely real. He was failing at the Jets, and then he had to become a backup for a few years. And once J.J. McCarthy got injured, which unfortunate for him, unfortunate for McCarthy, obviously. But for that injury, who knows what Sam Darnold would have been doing today? Sam Darnold got the starting job for the Vikings, and people were like, "Oh man, it's gonna be a bad year." Dude, he actually performed really, really well. And I will tell you what, Sam Darnold has really redeemed himself, man. What a story, bro! That dude went from trying to find any team that would take him as a backup to a potential Super Bowl champion as a starter. That's a pretty crazy comeback, I will say. Good for him, man. It's already pretty crazy that he's here, but man, dude, Sam Darnold, give him all his flowers, man. That dude locked in, and he really redeemed himself, and he deserves a lot of credit. That just shows that even if you're a backup, you can do anything's possible. You can still redeem yourself. And let's be completely real, that dude was at the Jets, and the Jets are very, very bad. I think they're honestly at this point the worst organization in football. At least as of late. They haven't made the playoffs in forever, so yeah. But that's why Dante Moore stayed this year. I'm sorry, I'll stop harping on the Jets. I'm a Saints fan, so I shouldn't be trash talking them that much, but I'm just being honest, bro. Although we did beat the crap out of the Jets. That was our best win this year. Or most handily won game this year, I guess. I don't know. But the Seahawks, man, it would be awesome to see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl. What a comeback that would be. Honestly, I think there's a case for both teams to have awesome stories. Because, the Seahawks, obviously, they can avenge that play from a few years ago. I forgot the word I was going to use for it. That infamous play from 11 years ago. They have a chance to redeem that against the exact same team as well, which is pretty crazy. Now let's talk about my future home team, because I'm moving there in a few months. The New England Patriots. I'll tell you what. I thought they were cooked after Brady left. I genuinely thought they were cooked. Once Brady left to the Buccaneers, they did kind of fall off a bit. Cam Newton was signed there. I mean, that team kind of like did not do great. Like it was PDD, post dynasty depression for a bit. And Bill Belichick, I just feel like at that point it wasn't working out for him. Obviously, the Patriots weren't very good in 2020. They kind of fell off by a year. Let's see. I'm going Pro Football Reference. I'm trying to see. Let's see. Yeah, they went 7-9 that year. A big drop off from where they were back then. It was their first single digit winning season since 2002 up to that point. That is crazy. And their first losing season since 2000, before Tom Brady even entered into the scene. Yeah. And then in 2021, they get Mac Jones, and then they make the wild card, but then they lost it. They made the playoffs and lost the wild card. They went 10-7, which is pretty good. It still wasn't up to where they were back then. Yeah. And then 2022 they went 8-9, and then they weren't great that year. In 2023 they went 4-13, and then Bill Belichick got let go. And then they hired Rod Mayo. They went 4-13 again. Then they fired Rod Mayo, and then they hired Mike Vrabel as their coach, a former player ironically, a former player of the Patriots, which I think makes sense that they hired him. Obviously, Mike Vrabel, let's just say, he did some good stuff at the Titans, and then they kind of fell off, and then he got fired. But let's be completely real, it wasn't really his fault. Like, the Titans aren't that great of a football organization, in my opinion. Like, they haven't been that good. Like, Mike Vrabel, I think, was just in a bad situation, and then he has a year off, and then he gets hired by the Patriots to be the next head coach. All the fans want him; they got him. And they went from 4 wins last year to making the Super Bowl. That is a pretty impressive turnaround, man. This is a completely different team from the 2000 the 2010s teams. Like, there's no more Gronk, no more Tom Brady. You don't have Julian Edelman anymore. But at this point, they've really avenged that. Like, they got because I remember the Patriots last year was like, man, they don't have any good players in that team. Because they went from Mac Jones to Drake May. They drafted Drake May last season. For last season, of course. And they mentioned him for a bit, that Brissett played in May played in the season. Yeah, and then I tell you what, man, this team is just completely turned it around this year. One of the most impressive 1-year turnarounds I've seen in a long time. I mean, I'd say it kind of reminds me of Indiana's turnaround, but Indiana didn't have 6 national championships back then. They were always a terrible program. The Patriots were just terrible for a few years, and then now they're back to where they were. I will say, this is the most wins they've had, most regular season wins they've had since 2016, when they won that 28-3 Super Bowl, which is pretty crazy. That's almost 10 years ago. That's pretty crazy. And yeah, that's just pretty epic, though. And instead of Tom Brady and I almost said Baby Gronk, Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman, you got Stephon Diggs, Drake May, and who's the tight end? I forgot who's the Patriots tight end? I know it's not Gronk anymore, obviously. I completely forgot. I know who it is. I fucking know who it is. I was just blanking on his name. Hunter Henry, that's who it is. Yeah, and they got some great receivers. Of course, they got Stephon Diggs from the Texans. Yeah, it's just pretty crazy to see how the Patriots came back from being fell off for a few years, and now they're back to where they were. And honestly, I think Tom Brady's probably pretty proud. And I guess Bill Belichick. Yeah, Mike Vrabel. I mean, there's a reason why I got Coach of the Year. He freaking deserves it. Did Sam Darnold get Comeback Player of the Year? I'm about to say Comeback Player of the Decade. At this rate, Comeback Player of the Year. Oh, it's Christian McCaffrey. Nice, good for him. Although I will say that he would have. I think Sam Darnold would have won it last year if he would have gotten it. Like honestly, I think I thought Sam Darnold probably deserved to win comeback player of the year last year. I think he won AP, but then he award Joe Burrow as the comeback player. Which I mean, it's Joe Burrow. I can't complain. I mean, I love Joe Burrow. I think he deserves it too. Like he came from an injury. Yeah, but I think Sam Darnold's had a bigger comeback in my opinion. Yeah, but like I said, I can't complain about that though, because Joe Burrow, I love freaking Joe Burrow. I'm an LSU fan. That dude's amazing. I love Joe Burrow, so I can't argue with that. I can't argue with him winning last year. Yeah, but there's that. Seahawks though. Here, let's take a look at their games this year. They their only losses come to San Francisco in game one. Then they beat San Francisco every time after that. They beat the crap out of them in the playoffs. They lost to Tampa Bay before they fell off a cliff. And then they also lost to the Rams, and then they beat the Rams the next two times. There's that, but they beat a lot of really good teams. Like the best teams they beat this year, they beat the Steelers. Wow, they crushed the Saints with Mac Jones. Oh wait, no, that was So I was thinking the 49ers. Yeah, I remember they crushed the Saints. I'll watch that and turn that off after they score a billion times. They also beat Jacksonville, Houston. Who else? What other good teams did they beat? Obviously, San Francisco and L.A. Rams. They beat the Panthers, which they made the playoffs. So let's see. Yeah, they beat some good teams. I also thought they beat Pittsburgh, the Saints, Arizona twice, Jacksonville, Houston, Commanders, Tennessee, Minnesota. They shut out Minnesota, Atlanta, Indianapolis, the Rams twice, and San Francisco twice, and then the Panthers. Then for the Patriots, the only losses come to the Raiders, which very weird how the worst team in the league beat. If the Patriots did the Super Bowl, that means the worst team in the league would have beat the best team in the league, which would be crazy. Has that ever happened before? I'm sure it's happened, but yeah. They lost to the Raiders, the Steelers, and then the Buffalo Bills. But to be fair, two of those three losses were in the first 3 weeks of the season. So they kind of took a while to get going, but then they really got going after that. Yeah, and then the teams they beat this year, the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Bills, the Saints. I'm surprised that game was close looking back. The Titans, the Browns, the Falcons, the Buccaneers, the Jets, the Bengals, the Giants, the Ravens, the Jets, Dolphins again. I guess they beat the Jets twice and the Dolphins twice, and they beat the Chargers, Texans, and Broncos in the playoffs. There's that. They've proved that they can play against the best competition. I will say, they definitely started out kind of slow. They got better as they went along. Yeah, that Vegas game looks so weird. Probably the biggest upset. That probably is the biggest upset of the season looking back. But yeah, but hey, they're in the Super Bowl now. That's pretty incredible. I will say they did beat the Buccaneers and the Seahawks into that, and there's that. But Sam Darnold's really good this year. 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I mean, that dude's great. That whole offense, Kenneth Walker, JSN, a lot of other players. And Cooper Kupp, of course. He could get a second ring with his second different team. That would be pretty incredible. The Seahawks, I will say, I think their offense is going to really push them. I think their offense is going to be really, really good tonight. I think they have one of the best offenses, maybe the best offense in the NFL this year. And they've really been good lately. They've been scoring a lot of points. Clint Kubiak, there's a reason why he's getting that Raiders job, and I do wish he stayed at the 40. I do wish that Clint Kubiak stayed at the Saints, but the 40. I will say the Seahawks are a better place to be in the Saints at this point. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. The Seahawks have actually been good the last few years, and the Saints haven't. Because I remember Clint Kubiak bust on the scene whenever like he scored like a billion points in those two games against the Panthers and the Cowboys to start the season. I was at that Cowboys game too. Then we fell off because of injuries. Yeah, it wasn't really his fault. Yeah. But hey, I wish the best to Kubiak, especially the Raiders, because they could fire him after only 1 year because they did that a lot. And then the Patriots, on the other hand, I mean, I will say that their defense has been really good this year for the most part. Like they've been really good as of late, and then their offense has been good too. Like they've been scoring a lot of points. We'll say that game against Denver was kind of weird, but it was a snow game, and obviously it's San Francisco. It never snows there, but there's that. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting circumstances going to this game. I think honestly, I think both these teams have a very strong case to win. Like, yes, I know the Patriots have had a softer schedule compared to others, but like they fought their way through really good teams in the playoffs, so they deserve a lot of credit for that. Yeah, I mean I get that their win against the Broncos was kind of fluky because backup quarterback, and once the snow started, no one can score after that. But I think honestly this will be a great game, and the Seahawks, man, I think it's really come down to their offensive. I think the Patriots defense really needs to like luck in tonight because that Seahawks offense is really good. Yeah, the Seahawks offense is obviously really good. Sometimes they can run into like a really good 49ers defense, and then the 49ers defense, and then they blew the 49ers defense a few weeks later. But Seahawks usually have a great offense, and I think that's going to be a really huge factor tonight. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention they have Rashid Shaheed as well. I mean, he had that kick return for a touchdown against the 49ers to open the game. And also, as a Saints fan, I miss Rashid Shaheed as well. I miss Clint Kubiak and Rashid Shaheed. Nothing against Doug Nussmeier or anything like that. I think he could be a good coordinator. It's just Clint Kubiak, man. He's probably the best offensive coordinator in the NFL at this point. Yeah, there's a reason why he's getting that job. Although Kellen Moore was last year, and then the Saints hired him, which was nice. Man, Kellen Moore can't Clint Kubiak, bro. That would be crazy. It's fine though. I think we got a staff that has a lot of potential. Anyways, I'll talk about this. I should probably stop yapping about the Saints, honestly. We've been out of it since day one. I knew we were going to be bad this year, but we did improve. It's not really Kellen Moore's fault or anything like that. Not even the coach's fault. I guess they have part of it, but like, it's not necessarily their fault. It's just like the Saints had no cap space to work with, and it was a weird transitional year. But yeah, overall though, it's going to be a really, really interesting game. I think the Seahawks are going to win. 64% go with them as well. I feel like I trust them more at this point than over the Patriots. Plus, you have that storyline, them avenging that loss. Yes, I know it's completely different rosters from 11 years ago. Like most of those players on that team retired. On those teams retired back then. Like it's not Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch and Russell. Well, Russell Wilson, I think, is technically still playing, but he has kind of fell off. He kind of fell off. And then like Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, that's just completely different rosters, that's for sure. But it's very interesting to see. It's like it almost feels like the 2010s all over again. It's like this playoffs definitely felt like 2015. Like Broncos and Patriots were the top 2 seeds, and it was the AFC Championship, I'm pretty sure as well. Part of it, Seahawks were really good. Yeah. I made a comparison on my playoff predictions video a few weeks ago, so go watch that if you haven't already. Anyways, that's going to do it for this season's picks. I guess that's going to do it for picks this season for both college and NFL. So I guess the next time I'll be picking games for anyone is week 0 next year for college football. I guess the next game we're predicting is North Carolina TCU in the Ireland game, or that Rio de Janeiro game between Virginia and NC State. I don't know. But yeah, and the next time we're doing NFL predictions is week 1, of course, in a few months. Yeah, but football is over. Although maybe we could do UFL this year. I don't know. Maybe we could do UFL picks. I might try to watch the UFL this year. I haven't really gotten into spring ball that much, because usually NASCAR's on to distract me. Usually, because NASCAR usually starts at that point, so like I watch that. Daytona 500 next week, so maybe we'll do some picks there. yeah, there's that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day and goodbye. See you next one. Peace.